What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. My name is Chris, and today we are going into downtown Ann Arbor to test the latest update 10.69.25.2. You can see here I came up with a pretty big route for us. Some complicated moves in the beginning with a roundabout and a bunch of left turns, and then some longer stretches there. Right off the bat, the first thing I noticed with this build is putting in those destinations, getting everything set up was very smooth and fluid. Now, I've seen that in past updates, and then it kind of disappeared again and got a little janky over time. So hopefully that smoothness will stick around. But we're going to go into downtown Ann Arbor. It's been almost 3 weeks, I believe, since our last update. And this is just an incremental update, no version 11 yet. It's supposed to be coming by the end of this week or at the worst next week. But, you know, we've heard that probably 5 times by now and we're still waiting. So no biggie. I want Tesla to safely roll that out as quickly as they can. So we'll get that eventually. So let's skip ahead here into the more exciting parts of downtown and test out this latest full self-driving beta update. But before we do that, thank you so much to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. You can use my link down below to save 25% on your premium Blinkist subscription. Short on time like I am, the Blinkist app enables you to understand the most important things from over 5,500 nonfiction books and podcasts in just 15 minutes. I tend to be a bit too accommodating, saying yes to too many obligations, leading to less time and more stress for myself. The first Blink I started was the Book of Boundaries. It's given me great tips on letting people know ways I am not currently available without sounding like a huge jerk. You can listen to Blinks or read them. I love to listen to them and set the reading speed to 2x, which is the same way I watch my YouTube videos. It's so easy to use Blinkist when I'm on my commute while my car is driving me to work. Once you start playing your chosen audio, it will automatically switch to the next section until you are finished. Become who you want to be this year with the help of Blinkist. For 2023, I personally would like to become a YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers, and I am working hard on that. Blinkist Connect is also a new feature that is great for enjoying Blinkist with friends and family. It's like getting 2 new accounts for the price of 1. Get 25% off Blinkist Premium and enjoy 2 memberships for the price of 1. Start your 7-day free trial by clicking my link, blinkist.com/dirtytesla in the description below. All right, so as we head into this more complicated part of downtown, we are going up for our first left turn here. I like to include this one when I can because beta still does seem to mess it up slightly. Now, it takes the left nicely, but you got 2 left turn lanes. If you're here, you should stay in the right lane. If you're there, you stay in the left lane, and beta tends to switch mid-turn. So let's see here. We are slowing. It's a little cautious of that pedestrian, I think. And so you can see here it did screw up right off the bat. So we should have stayed in that right lane, and we did not. So I now need to edit this trip. Oh, I did not just end the trip. All right, I kind of messed I screwed up. I knew that was going to happen eventually. I pulled over, I put the route back in, so we should be good to continue on this route here. So I'm basically making us go around because what we're going to do is we're going to go through that roundabout over there, and it'll take us all the way around. So we are taking this left turn. Man, we are really moving up here. The car was very assertive in that move, and I loved it. It felt so natural. No weird braking, no hard accelerations, anything like that. So we're going to be pretty picky here going forward. We will have, you know, the data tracking the stats of the drive and everything. We're going to be pretty picky because beta is getting pretty good. Now, I hear a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people now. A lot of you DM me or just talk to me on Twitter, which is great. And still, you know, talking about the problems you're having, and that's fine. Beta is not perfect. I've said many times I don't expect it to get perfect exactly. Beta is not done. It still has lots of problems. Despite the really nice drives I am having, it still is gonna, you know, have some weirdness. Nice move over for that car there, and that's to be expected. So don't think I'm discounting the things other people are seeing. But when I'm comparing this, I'm actually almost done with a 2-year comparison here. It took a long time to make, but we're getting there. When I compare it to 2 years ago, the changes, the improvements are dramatic. That doesn't mean there's not still a lot of work to do. It doesn't mean I still don't have doubts about the hardware suite that we currently have on hardware 3. But beta is getting so much better than it was. So let's get through this roundabout and then continue into the rest of downtown. Nice approach to the roundabout. Good speed here. And it feels like the car's looking over there and seeing that nobody's coming in. And we're going around this roundabout. Again, a few months ago, this roundabout, the car, even with no cars around, was stopping in the middle of it and doing all kinds of weird things. So perfectly handled that roundabout there. So edit this trip. We might get a little weirdness because the stop was like right here. So the car may still try to stop at this old route here. But no, it nicely looks like it's going to continue. and it has the turn signal on, kind of saying we're going to stay in this lane. It's kind of weird from a human perspective, but that's kind of the car's logic. So it's real tight here. Are we going to get a mirror folding? Or, I mean, I'd be fine waiting back here. I don't really feel the need to get up to that line. Wow, the car's really not sure what to do. We do have room to do this, but it is tight at the same time. So, yeah, the car just keeps inching forward a little bit. It's not even showing 1 mile per hour. There you go. So moving away from that bus, and it's green. So let's see. Will we move forward here? Very cautiously, but actually handled pretty well. I think that was handled nicely. So now we got a few left turns coming up. I tried I try to make the routes complicated. It can be hard to kind of foresee everything that's going to happen in terms of the route. But there you go. Nicely moved into this left turn lane. A little hard braking before the line. I'll report it because you can see the line's way up there. And apologies, I don't have the roof cam. Sorry, I'm missing a part. But let's get through this light. You can also see the occupancy network is just so nicely displaying those barriers up there. I mean, that is the best it's ever looked, actually. That seems like a pretty big improvement compared to what we've seen in the past, especially for something so far away. So we need to wait for these cars. And, ooh, that is awkward. Don't do that. I'm reporting that as well. So it did stop, and this is kind of one of the weird things it does sometimes, so we're probably going to wait for this person to the left, is it'll, like, just go too far into the move where, I don't know, some of you say I care too much what other people think, but I'm trying to be polite and not scare people around me. And moves like that can be kind of weird. So, all right, we'll get another chance to do this left and see if the car can do it correctly this time, which it probably won't. But yeah, that occupancy network looked very, very nice. All right, so we got the green. We're moving slow, and there is a car next to us. So are you going to stay in your lane here? Okay, and I disengaged, I guess, on accident. That was pretty weird. All right, well, I'll count it as a disengagement. I don't know. It was definitely like an accident of me just having my hand on the wheel. Sometimes the car does seem like it's really sensitive to disengaging versus other times where it's not. All right, so it is clear that's illegal. You can't do a U-turn there. So you do need to move ahead. Are you going to do it? Or I think probably, again, the pedestrians are tripping it about just a little bit, but it did move through. It did make the decision to move through there. I've noticed that twice now. It seems it's a little sensitive to pedestrians right now. I'm fine with that versus the opposite. But yeah, gotta get that nice balance. So it did get the route switch in time here. I switched that at the last second just because I had to. And it nicely takes this right turn. So again, that's something the car used to struggle with a lot in the past. Those times when you'd switch the route, like right before the destination's coming up, or even just mid-drive at any point, would really screw the car up. And now it's handling that much better. Oh, very nice. I actually did not even really realize it was coming up that quickly. And we really nicely moved into that left turn lane. And we do need to wait. We had a little gap there, but this guy was actually coming pretty fast. I don't think I would have taken that myself, and the car made the same decision. I believe I would have too. And we'll just wait for these cars to pass by. So after this Prius, we're good to go. And you're thinking about it. See, it's tripped up by this car in front of me, but now it realizes they're not going to keep going. So not terrible. Little hesitant. I'm going to report it just because it wasn't exactly perfect. And then slides into this left turn lane, which is what we need. Sorry, I'd love to keep the big visual, but I really just gotta have my map up here too. I wish we could have the 2/3 back, please. That was the perfect, I mean, little map and big visualization was just like the perfect combination there. So beautiful left turn, felt perfect. A lot of these moves are just feeling so good now. Ooh, hard brake there. For a pedestrian, yeah, so it did continue. So pedestrian was coming up to the crosswalk, but very clearly was going to go behind us. So that's a time where braking for pedestrian is really, really bad. I mean, again, it wasn't unsafe in terms of like towards the pedestrian, but when you're clearly going to make it through the crosswalk before they're even near it, yeah, obviously that was not good braking there. So we'll continue here. So yeah, it seems like this version, just my guess off this initial drive is a little sensitive around pedestrians so far. So nice stop, and then it is our turn, so we should go. And we are going very slowly because the person to our left, it's not their turn, but they're still rolling. They're still moving like they're going to move through the intersection. So the car's being very careful about that. And that's kind of how humans interact. That person just assumes I'm going to take off immediately, and when I don't, they start to get a little impatient. So those robot-human interactions are still probably going to be our biggest thing. I think these days, if you could have empty streets with no people, beta would make it A to B most of the time without any help. Most of the time. All right, so you need to creep up here at least a little bit. So that's pretty tough because you can't see. What are you beeping about? Okay, that time I saw absolutely nothing for it to be beeping about. Wow, lots of problems here. I know there's a report limit. Whatever, I'm just going to keep clicking it. I don't care. I don't think they care. I'm just clicking it. Man, so very sensitive today. Very sensitive today. Despite that, the driving still feels pretty good overall. Left turn, handled very nicely, unprotected. And we're just about here, so I'm going to have to edit again. Get rid of whatever. Let it reroute, so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to reroute this. It still has the old plan in, which is to turn right here. We will stop for pedestrians, which that was a very good stop. Obviously, we should stop for them. The stopping was gentle and felt really good. So we're going to let everybody by here, which is good. That's what I want to do. And this is a longer stretch here. No, it's not. Okay, maybe after that. So there's that. Now everybody's out of the way. So this is where you need to be assertive. Like, get out of here before the next person comes. And there you go. So it's like wait until he started in the crosswalk. We definitely, should have gone. I definitely would not have waited for him, but the car did it. So I think it thinks there's not enough room here, even though there is. Park assist unavailable. Why? It's been saying that the whole time. What is that about? I don't know if that's a bug with this version. I didn't notice it before the video. I know I haven't commented on it yet, but I've been looking at it. So it's just not going. Nobody's behind me, so I'm leaving it. All right, we're going to have an intervention here. I'm going to do an accelerator tap. Everybody's like, no, keep waiting. I think we've waited long enough. All right, tap and let off. There we go. See, it just needs a little encouragement. So that's one intervention I did not, I'm not continuing to press. I just tapped it. Just go, dude. Just go. You can do it. There. Oh, look at that. That person's moving. Hey, and now beta gets... So yeah, so it's waiting for that car. It didn't think there was enough room. Now that they're out of the way, we're a little more confident. A little more. So you got to keep going. There's not enough room for these people to... Oh, folding mirrors. Okay, I'll take it. This is so awkward. I'm doing it for you guys, but I feel so awkward now. Okay. I'll disengage there. Too close. She's staring at me. I don't want to freak anybody out. So yeah, not handled very well. That in the past few months has been really good. Now, that was a tight spot, don't get me wrong, but I think the car definitely shouldn't have been able to do that. I think that was a pretty disappointing performance in that situation. So this is, yeah, inappropriate. So we... Just keep going, please. Oh, my gosh. That person was standing there waiting for the crosswalk. Now, legally, I'm going to be honest, I don't know exactly the correct thing to do there. What I would have done, if I was driving, what those other cars did is just keep going. The car is almost too polite in that it's stopping at those crosswalks. Now, maybe that was the right decision, but you saw what ended up happening. It slowed down a ton. The person was just standing there, so it continued, then the person started to walk out, and it just becomes a confusing situation. So again, the human-AI interactions are going to be our biggest thing here, I think, for a very, very long time. But yeah, I don't know. Stopping in the middle of a road that big when you see a pedestrian kind of near a crosswalk, I don't think it's the right call. I really don't. All right, so no turn on red. Most likely going to have to disengage here. Unless they added that ability, which I'm guessing they didn't. Nope, there it goes. So another disengagement for something that's super simple. All right, so we got the green. I'll turn it back on. We do have some pedestrians to wait for first, which we know the car is very good at. Almost too good at doing that. This is pretty good, pretty natural. And we take off right as they leave the road. So that's very nice. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be too much of a Debbie Downer here, but I'm trying to be realistic, and I'm also trying to balance kind of the good and the bad, because I do read the comments and I do see, Some people think I'm too nice to the system. Some people think I'm too harsh on it. I'm just kind of giving my thoughts. Everything is here on video. You can make your own judgments. But I'm giving my thoughts and opinions as things happen. And again, it's also from the perspective of this software over time. It's not just this one drive. It's not that one action, you know. So sometimes I'm a little forgiving when something happens and I'm like, ah, well, that was confusing. It's handled that well before. But other times when this is almost 2.5 years old at this point and it can't read a no turn on red, it's like, I don't know. I feel like that should be, at least add it to the map data or something. Like that should be pretty basic. So I see here the red lights are blinking in and out. The car's behaving fine, but that doesn't look good to me. I don't know why it's doing that. Along with the park assist unavailable. I don't know why it's saying that. I don't want to click it right now. I don't know. Something's definitely a little weird. And this is going to be tough because the road is going to merge. All right, I like that takeoff. That's pretty, okay, so we're good here. I thought we were gonna have trouble with getting together with these cars to our left, but the Tesla took off at a great speed. Not like a drag race, but assertive enough to get up here. All right, so very nice lane change when I had changed the route a tiny bit late. I thought it might have enough time, but with the loading and everything, it was a tiny bit late considering the next right turn coming up, and that lane change was beautiful. Plenty of room, nobody was over there, the car did it, just got over, no hesitation, so very nice. All right, so going for this left turn, really nice move into that lane. Handled all of that last part exactly perfectly. Even that stop, there was a red light there. The stop was so smooth. Sometimes you get the braking's too hard on beta. And for the most part, the braking in this drive specifically has been very good, except for the times when it was braking for like pedestrians it wasn't supposed to. But the red lights and things have been good. So you got to go. You going to go? All right, I got to push it here because we are in the intersection. And in Michigan, when you're in the intersection, it turns red, you can finish your move. Obviously, we're not going to sit through a whole intersection. So that is another intervention, which hopefully they'll see. I don't know, whatever. So here's this stop, and then we'll have one more, and we'll finish up. It's a one-way street. And, you know, another thing I'll say, the car is handling these reroutes. I've been rerouting like crazy. Like beautifully. Slowing down for that police car. Look at that sentience. That is just awesome. And then it speeds back up when it sees nobody's in the police car. That's great. Good job, Tesla. Just kidding, of course. But it did almost feel like that. Like as soon as I saw that cop car, the car slowed down. And then as we moved past them, we sped back up. So left turn here. I think this is also a one-way, so we're only really looking to the right. And there is somebody coming, which I just saw right as the car started to brake is when I could see them. And then we move forward, kind of preemptively move out for that left turn. Perfectly handled. So let's see, what do we got left here? We got that. All right, let's get to this last stop. Oh, all right. What? Come on. You should be better than this. This is dumb. You just want to wait here. Okay, so that guy can't really go either. So in terms of that, I guess it's not a big deal. All right, so he is squeezing by. And let's see what the car decides to do. It's going to wait. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. That's a fine decision. So slowing for this crosswalk. Nobody is here. You are way too sensitive about that right now. So that's a regression I'm seeing for sure. All right, so we'll see if this bug still exists. My car likes to just kind of stop on this bridge. Yep, you can see it's planning to stop, so I'm gonna tap the accelerator there. And I gotta keep holding it, and then we move through. My only guess is it thinks that there's a crossroad or something because of the map data. I have no idea. That didn't used to happen, and then it started happening. So now it just always happens. So that's another intervention, and a pretty unfortunate one, let's be honest. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this one, just start heading to my final destination here. So overall, let me try to give you some cliff notes. I'm trying to get, overall, here's the stats. Let me put up the miles of this drive. So we'll go to trips, and I restarted it right before I started. And why are we stopping here? Oh, this is the destination. Okay, that's fine. It this was the destination we had set. So that is perfectly acceptable. So this drive, we're at 11 miles, so a little bit longer than normal. And you're gonna turn right and right, okay. And so cliff notes, regressions are way too sensitive for pedestrians, definitely. Actually, that's really the only regression I noticed. A lot of the moves were very smooth. All right, let's stick with negatives. Other negatives, where was I intervening? Mostly just stopping for pedestrians. I try to remember everything, but it's a lot, so it's hard. Oh, we got way too close to that car. We were trying to fit through that tight spot. That was unfortunate. I'm happy at least that was like a semi, like it was a situation. It's not like we were just driving on a road like this and the car like screwed up. At least there was something going on. The car was trying to figure it out and it didn't. So whatever, like we intervened. It did a bad job at that. It happens. The biggest thing I'm noticing now is where the car is messing up is not those situations as much. It is where the car is now lacking capabilities that have not been added yet after all this time. So as I've been complaining, no right turn on red signs are just not recognized, or they're at least not even stored in the map data. So the car's never going to do that. It can't, it's not a sentient being, as I was joking earlier. It can't learn like, oh, every time that sign's there, he hits the brake, I should start doing that. It has to be programmed in to some capacity, at least for the neural net to see it and react to it appropriately. So they have to add these things that are not currently capabilities. So there's that, and then like stopping on this road over here that we just saw over this bridge because who knows why? Like that's another thing that it's not that the car is just, the neural nets are messing up or the car's making some crazy mistake. It has wrong data, and so it needs that data. Lane selection was great in this one drive. I'm very hesitant to call it fixed. I would definitely not call it fixed because I don't really have any proof of that. But that has been my biggest complaint driving this over the past couple weeks is like lane selection is just so dumb most of the time. And it'll like, oh, right turn coming up, let me move to the left lane and then try to move back at the last second and there's a bunch of people in the way. So those are kind of the bad things. The positives, everything was very smooth this drive. Braking was very good, besides when it was making a mistake, and braking for pedestrians, it shouldn't be. And I don't know, the turns, all the left turns and the right turns felt really good. The unprotected stuff was good, besides the one time it moved a little too close to the oncoming traffic. But, you know, it did it correctly, just, you know, margin of error for a computer, I guess, is less than human. But yeah, overall, like, I'm happy with it. It's cool. It's doing good. Excited for version 11. Don't get too excited. I don't think we're going to see like huge jumps in improvement. We're just going to now get beta on the highway. But that's the drive. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please hit like and get subscribed. If you have any questions, leave those down below. I'd be happy to answer them. And you will see me and Full Self-Driving Beta in the next video. Thank you again to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out my link down below, blinkist.com/dirtytesla, to get 25% off your premium membership.